Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the family, we are grateful for your attendance here today in honor of Jenna. And just want to make a couple of remarks as we start today. First is, if any of you have your cell phones, would you make sure that they're on silent so that they don't go off in the middle of the service? We'd really appreciate that. Also, later in the service, there's going to be an open mic for those of you who'd like to make some comments or remembrances of Jenna. Unfortunately, we don't have a floor mic, and so you're going to have to come up here so everybody can hear you. And then at the very end, we want to remind you of a reception that's going to be held this coming Saturday in Mission. So today we have gathered to honor Jennifer or Jenna Marie L. Adam. And there's a reason why we have funeral services, memorial services. And I want to share with you just a couple of reasons why we do. The first is it's a time to be able to say goodbye and bring closure to our earthly relationships. It helps us in the process of letting go. And it's okay to cry. Those are the things that happen when we are in a place of grief. And friends and those who are in relationship with us know and feel the pain that we have. Okay, guess I need to talk a little closer. Can everybody hear me out there? Somebody in the back row? Can you hear me out there? Good, okay. The second reason that we have these kind of services is to build a memory. Because when everybody shares about the person's life, some of you who will share in the open mic and some of the family who will share today, there will probably be things you never knew about them. And we build a larger memory together when we share those things. The third reason we have these kind of services is to celebrate their life. We celebrate who they were. We celebrate what they did. We celebrate what they meant to us and their influence and their impact on our lives. And from some of the emails I have read that were sent in, obviously Jenna had an impact on many of you. The fourth thing that I want to share with you about the reason we have these services is to appreciate the legacy that they have left, the legacy of life values that they lived, the legacy they leave to their family, the legacy they leave to their friends, the legacy that they leave to their co-workers. And then one of the more important points as to why we have these services also is to consider our own life values and legacy. What kind of legacy are we building? How will we be thought of when we pass on? What kind of legacy will we have and will we leave? I guess that all depends on the kind of life we lead and the values that we are faithful to in our own lives. And then the final reason we have these services is to comfort relatives and friends with love and support. And for Betty and the family, and Suki and others, this is a time to support them, to share your love for them, and to comfort them, and make the effort to come together for comfort and healing and reconciliation. So those are some of the reasons we are gathered here today as we remember Jenna together. During the course of the service, we're going to have several musical selections, the first of which we're going to enjoy at this moment, called Rescue by Lauren Daigle.
You are not hidden. There's never been a moment You were forgotten, you are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. I hear the whisper underneath your breath. I hear you whisper you have nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. Oh, I will rescue you.
At this point, we're going to view a video together, a collage that's been put together on Jenna's life. So we'll watch together as this plays. I guess technical difficulties happen. So, are we ready yet, Trish? No. Okay, so we will just change up the order of the program, if that's okay. And let's see, Betty, can I call on you for your eulogy at this time? Would that be appropriate? And then we'll have the video and the other music following that. So Betty is coming to reflect on Jenna's life.
Am I close enough to the mic? I need to speak up. Okay. Big breath, big breath. Okay, John, keep me straight. Okay. Well, I don't. Louder? How about that? Okay. So as Colin said, I'm Jenna's mama. I'm Jenna's mama, Bear Betty. I know it looks like a lot, but it's just really in big print, so it's not that much. I just have to tell you that I'm a little overwhelmed how many people have come here today, like to show caring and love and pay respects for Jenna and our family. Over the last days, I've felt so much love and support, and I want you to know that I am beyond grateful for that. My heart is forever shattered into a million pieces. But your love, your caring, and your support, just being here today, helps make those pieces just a little less jagged and a little less painful for me. Your presence here is a gift to Jenna and her sister Kayla and myself. And I thank you from the deepest corners of my heart for coming today. I want to share something with you that happened yesterday that has profoundly impacted me and has confirmed for me that Jenna has not disappeared and her journey did not stop. Yesterday, early evening, I came here to see my Jenna. I wasn't sure I could do it. I was scared. I stepped inside those doors, and I could see my little girl up front. I could see the outline of her nose, her beautiful hips, her high forehead, her slender hands. Without warning, in an instant, I saw and I felt this. The best I can describe it was like a shot of pure energy love just shot from her to me. And I felt her pulling me. It was like she was reeling me in. My fright left me, and it was replaced by sadness and calm. I feel really, really, really blessed that I clearly saw and felt the depth of Jenna's love and her capacity to give love. I'd like to take just a few minutes of your time, if it's okay with you, to talk about my Jen. I want to paint a colorful picture for you to carry with us. Though if you knew Jenna, she's already embedded in your mind in some pretty bold colors. I don't need papers for this one. May 17th, 1984, 3 days after Jen was born, her daddy and I brought her home from the hospital. Daddy carried her through the front doors of the house He stopped. He held her high in the air, like in The Lion King. And he says, "This is all for you, princess. You're my princess." Jenna took that to heart. She loved being Daddy's princess. And as the years went by, I think her dad started to realize princesses cost a lot of money to keep in style. And Jen loved the best of the best. Jen was my firstborn, my beautiful spirited warrior child with a sensitive side. Her impatient sense of adventure and let's get it done never left her. When Jen was little and riding her bike, there was never any leisurely riding going on. It was always a race. And she'd pedal like crazy, beat me, of course, look back with that big smile of hers, saying, "Mom, Mom, come on, come on." Life was often competitive for her, where she strived to be number one, be the best, and win the race. Well, today, this is one race where I should have been first. Jenna taught her sister Kayla lots of things. One of the first things was when Kayla could barely stand up in the crib. Jen wanted Kayla to play, so she got up there and showed Kayla how to climb out of the crib, get her leg over the top rail, hold her waist, and get her down to the ground. When Jenna wanted something, she found a way to get it. When Jenna and Kayla played with her dollies outside, Kayla would softly put her baby in the buggy, tuck the little blanket around her. So nice and sweet. Jenna, however, wanted to teach Kayla the concept of baby buggy racing, which involved basically taking her baby, throwing it in the baby buggy, and taking off as quickly as she could. Jenna was a bold and determined girl, yet had a sensitive nature too. I would see that when we watched Land Before Time over and over again. It was one of Jen's favorite movies as a little girl. She felt so sorry for the orphaned little dinosaur. I started Jen's love for camping about 6 months old. And it was my oldest brother Doug's truck and camper I borrowed. And I drove to Whidbey Island and I camped with my other brothers, Ken and his family. Every year we went there, Jen put on her red gumboots, climbed the trees, ride her bike all around the campground while I made the pancakes. She loved the evenings around the campfire, still sitting in her gumboots, trying to make s'mores, those sticky, messy s'mores, though most of the marshmallows ended up in the fire. Jen absolutely loved the times we camped at Rathtrevor Beach with her Auntie Joan and her cousin Jared. The spaghetti fights, where Jen just had to make sure every last piece of spaghetti in the pot was thrown. Jenna absolutely loved going to the family cabin at Sheridan Lake with her aunties, uncles, and cousins. It was never a chore for Jen to be with her family at the cabin all the way through high school. When we're driving up there, we had to crank the tunes up really high in the van all the way there. When she was young, we would be playing like Walking on Sunshine song. Then a little older, it was like Snoop Dogg or something. About 3 hours of that music, I just wanted to get there. So we may or may not have tested the speed limit coming up that last big climb on Highway 24. Jenna adored Christmas, just loved it. First, she wanted to know whose house we're going to, and are they going to make turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, peas, and carrots. That's all she wanted. And of course, our Christmas tree had to hold every single ornament we owned. So there was literally no green showing on that tree. Jenna was so excited to open one gift on Christmas Eve, but it was important to her that it not be one of the really nice ones. Those had to be kept for the morning. The summer when Jen was 12 years old, she went to a summer camp outside of 100 Mile House called Educo. It was a 2-week camp where they go out in the wilderness for about 10 days, and they have to bring everything with them to survive. Jen did struggle with the weight of the pack on her back because she was little, right? But she loved it. She loved the part when they went up high in the mountains and they slid down the snowfield on their jackets. We were, a short time ago, we were looking at her journal of Educo. She was reading it, and she mentioned that she remembered that her jacket went, of course, faster than anybody else's. They were given time to sit on their own in a meadow under the sun and think about what animal they felt connected to. Jenna chose wolf, which I think fits her fierceness and tenacity perfectly. I happened to find the note that she wrote up in the mountains when she was 12 years old. I want to read it to you. She wrote, "Wolf, the power of beauty, the power of strength, to lift itself up off a riverbank, the eyes a bright green and the nose a wet black, the mind so very smart and keen." Remember, she's 12. "I start off my journey on wandering land, my paws sinking through the cold blowing sand, my fur burning hot and hurting a whole lot, my eyes stinging with pain. What a horrible game. I reach my destination and I feel a bold sensation. Home is where I belong." Signed, Wolf. Jen was a very intelligent girl. She was one of those who didn't have to study and just ace all of her exams. She just got things like physics and math and chemistry. She loved her basketball and track. She wasn't the tallest on the basketball team, but she made up for it with speed. I remember she got most valuable player in a tournament on the island once, and she was just so proud of that. Her bestie, Raylene, and her often got in trouble from their coach for giggling and being silly on the bench. Of course, if there was any cute boys nearby, that's likely what the reason. Around 15 years old, Jenna met another best friend, Megan McCamey. Those two were capital trouble from the start and formed an unbelievable bond. Megan was a ride or die. Then there's a Megan crew. Megan McCamey, Jen's longest friend, Megan Catu, Megan Samodian, Megan Meeker. Throw in Emma, Jenna, and Raylene in the mix, and they were a force to be reckoned with. A crew that lit up the clubs in downtown. I think sometimes the less I know about those Vancouver trips, the better it is for me. After high school, Jen took off to Australia with some of her crew. She had a blast, but again, I think it's best what happens in Australia just stays there. Though she did manage to send a few postcards home. When she came home, she got a job serving at Lou's Bar and Grill in Abbotsford. And I remember the day she bought her first Louis Vuitton bag when she saved up her tips from Lou's. She was so proud she'd saved all that money to buy her bag. That was the beginning of her Louis Vuitton must-haves. And she hasn't looked back since. When Jenna loved hard. She broke a lot of hearts in her short life, but she eventually found her partner and soulmate with Suki. I thank you, Suki, for being by Jenna's side over the last while. He was her love, her support, and her rock. And for that, I am forever grateful. I'm missing my baby girl, my sweet warrior child, my grown daughter. I'm missing her big, beautiful smile, her wheezy laugh, her voice, her tears, the feel of her slender hand in mine, her scent when she would bury her head in my neck when she was sad. I even miss the way she would run at me and jump on me and wrap her legs around me and basically knock me over. The times I missed not so long ago that we sat out back making funny Snapchats for hours. We just laughed until our sides hurt. She came and stayed with me not long ago after being thrown yet again from her horse. And I'd lay with her on the bed looking at Instagram videos, talking about her dad. She missed her dad so badly. His passing crushed her. I'd scratch her head, rub her feet, and she'd doze off, or so I thought. And she'd just open her eyes and look at me and say, "Mommy, can you make me something to eat?" And so, of course, I did. I'll miss her vulnerability when she felt brave and let it shine through. I'll miss the Sunday phone calls. "Me, what are you doing?" "Jen, nothing. What are you doing?" "Me, nothing. Do you want to come over?" And she'd pack up her dogs and come on over. And we'd just be in the same space doing nothing. Jenna now shares my heart space forever. Jenna, wherever you are embedded in the broken pieces of my heart and entwined in my soul forever. I will exist somewhere between the relentless pain of losing you and the sweet joys of your life, until the time comes again that I can run to you and kiss you and hold you and tell you how much I love you. I love you to the moon and back 1,000 times, no matter where you are. Just know you'll be as close as my next heartbeat, for your heart lives in me. I'll always be your mama bear, and you'll forever be my Junjuna. I just ask that you please carry with you the part of Jenna that you knew. Don't be afraid to say her name and speak of her. She is unforgettable. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. I think, Trish, if we can, oh, you ready with the video? Okay, I guess we're ready with the video, and we'll watch that together.
Remember those walls I built, and baby, they're tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I've got my angel now. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had to break it. It's the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need in mine. It's written all over your face. Oh, baby, I can feel your halo. I pray you won't fade away. Can feel your halo. darkest night. You're the only one that I want, and I'm addicted to your light. I swore I'd never fall again, but this don't even feel like falling. Gravity can't forget to pull me back to the ground again. Feels like I've been waking, 'cause every rule I had to break, it's a risk that I'm taking, 'cause I ain't never gonna show you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Oh baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need in more. It's written all over your face. Oh baby, I can see your halo. I pray you won't fade away, 'cause I can feel your halo. I can feel your halo. I can feel your halo. See your halo.
And when the lights come down, I wanna feel you standing next to me. And can you hear me out? There's a lifetime in front of me. And when my time runs out, I wanna feel you standing next to me. Baby, I knew this time would arrive. I knew this time would come. Ever since I first looked in your eyes, I said you're the one. Oh my God, oh my God, tell me I'm the one. Oh my God, oh my God. I wanna feel you standing. Late in the evening when the sun comes down, under the starlight as the birds fly by, I see the dust fill the twilight sky. I feel the warmth of your hand in mine. It's in the air, it's in the air, it's in the air we breathe. This all around us now. And when the lights come down, I wanna feel you standing next to me. And can you hear me out? this town in front of me. And when my time runs out, I wanna feel you standing next to me. Baby, I knew this time would arrive. I knew this time would come. Ever since I first looked in your eyes, I said you're the one. Oh my God, oh my God. Tell me I'm the one. Oh my God, oh my God. I wanna feel you standing when the lights come down. I wanna feel you standing next to me.
Just wait. Go.
Any boxes, anyone?
Thank you, whoever put that collage together. That was very well done. Thank you. Because we have changed up the program a little bit, we're going to have two of the musical selections. And so we're going to hear Be Still by The Fray and Nobody But You by Blake Shelton.
Be still and know that I'm with you. Be still and know that I am here. Be still and know that I'm with you. Be still and know. When darkness comes upon you and covers you with fear and shame, be still and know that I'm with you, and I will say your name. If terror falls upon your bed and sleep no longer come, remember all the words I said. Be still and know. And when you go through the valley and the shadow comes down from the hill, if morning never comes to be still, be still, be still. If you forget the way to go and lose where you came from, no one is standing beside you, be still and know I am. Be still and know that I'm with you. Be still and know I am. Be still and know that I'm with you. Be still and know that I am here. Be still and know that I'm with you. Be still and know. When darkness comes upon you and covers you with fear and shame, be still and know that I'm with you, and I will say your name. If terror falls upon your bed and sleep no longer comes, remember all the words I said. Be still and know. And when you go through the valley and the shadow comes down from the hill, if morning never comes to be, be still, be still, be still. If you forget the way to go and lose where you came from, if no one is standing beside you, be still and know I am. Be still and know that I'm with you. Be still and know I am.
Don't have to leave this town to see the world, 'cause it's something that I gotta do. I don't wanna look back in 30 years and wonder who you're married to. Wanna say it now, wanna make it clear, for only you and God to hear. When you love someone, they say you set them free, but that ain't gonna work for me. I don't wanna live without you. I don't wanna even breathe. I don't wanna dream about you. I wanna wake up with you next to me. I don't wanna go down any other road now. I don't wanna love nobody but you. Looking in your eyes now, if I had to die now, I don't wanna love nobody but you. All the wasted days, all the wasted nights, I'll blame it all on being young. Got no regrets, 'cause it got me here, but I don't wanna waste another one. I've been thinking about what I want in my life. It begins and ends the same. If I had to choose what I couldn't lose, there'd only be one thing. I don't wanna live without you. I don't wanna even breathe. I don't wanna dream about you. I wanna wake up with you next to me. I don't wanna go down any other road now. I don't wanna love nobody but you. Looking in your eyes now, if I had to die now, I don't wanna love nobody but you. I don't wanna love nobody but you. I wanna say it now, wanna make it clear, for only you and God to hear. I don't wanna live without you. I don't wanna even breathe. I don't wanna dream about you. I wanna wake up with you next to me. I don't wanna go down any other road now. I don't wanna love nobody but you. Looking in your eyes now, if I had to die now, I don't wanna love nobody but you. I don't wanna love you. I don't wanna love nobody but you.
All right. I believe now we're going to hear from Kayla and Jenna's sister and also Auntie Joan.
Does this move? No. Do you mind if I stand closer to it? Thanks. I haven't turned around yet, so it's nice to see everyone. Thank you for coming. It means a lot to myself and her family and her friends that you're all here today. I just want to take a moment, so if you guys just want to take a moment with me and just have a fond memory of my sister in your heart, just so we can have a moment of silence, that'd be great. Thanks. So I'm going to do my best not to just pass out on this stage because I really don't want to be standing here right now. And my sister. There's just no words to really justify the feeling that I'm sure most of us are experiencing today and for the rest of our lives. I spent 34 crazy, magical, hilarious, infuriating, wonderfully unexpected years with my sister, Jenna. Life with Jenna was the true definition of an adventure. Even the simplest of days with her resulted in tears of laughter from something unexpected happening. It was just who she was. She pulled it in everywhere she went. She was full of adventure. I remember countless trips to our summer cabin at Sheridan Lake. Half of the drive was the most fun because we would be driving my mom's old van, Rosie, that would fail to make it up the Coquihalla every single time. And me and Jenna would be peeing our pants laughing in the back seat because Mom would be yelling about the catalytic converter going up the Coquihalla every time. And it resulted in us pulling over, waiting for the car to cool down, and continue our drive to Sheridan Lake. Great times, Mom, sorry. The cabin was our childhood playground, from tubing on the lake with Megan Couture, to building forts in the middle of the bushes, to going to the rodeo down the street. We absolutely loved it. Jenna was full of mischief and always made some way to make us laugh. That was probably the most favorite thing about my sister, is that she always did something silly to make us laugh so hard that we peed our pants. She didn't always think things through, though. She had a very impulsive nature to her, and sometimes it worked against her. Like the time that we had Roman candle fireworks at my mom's house in Hatzick. So Jenna lit them only to realize that the part that was shooting out was shooting at her body and myself and Mackenzie, and I can't remember who else was there. So she threw the fireworks down on the patio deck, and we run into the house and close the sliding glass door and watch it spinning in circles, shooting fireworks out. Finally, it made its way down towards the side of the house, and we all took a big sigh of relief, thinking we're good. We just dodged a bullet. Within 2 seconds, the entire bushes on the side of the house lit up in flames, melting the side of your home. Sorry, Mom. Mom's on the phone with 911 calling the fire truck, and Jenna has a small bowl from the kitchen trying to douse water on this ginormous fire. That was the second house we tried to light on fire. I apologize. Another person tried to light your first house. This house that you're in has yet to be torched, so have a fire extinguisher handy, just for your own safety. Years ago, when I moved to Los Angeles, having Jenna come and visit me was one of the best things I could have asked for. It did mean the world that she would come and visit and be a part of my life down there. And I would pick Jenna up from the airport, and in true Jenna style, by the time we got back to my house, my once clean home for her was like a tornado ripped through it within less than an hour of her arrival. We would have the most fun together. She wanted to go to all the trendy spots, so we would go to Nobu with my dad and Belle and my ex-husband, only to drink so many martinis that we couldn't consume the food in front of us, but we somehow racked up a $2,000 dinner bill. Thank you, Rob, for that. Yeah, he's here in spirit. We would also have our girls' night out at STK, eating the best steaks, drinking wine in memory of our nights at the Keg. Several nights there with all of our steak and Caesar salads. And we would go shopping a lot. My best memory of us, though, was at my house when we would bake our favorite cookies, this one brand that I would hunt everywhere for her to get. And we'd cuddle up on the couch and watch a movie. And this one very specific brand of cookies, if you know Jenna, she loves her sweets. She wanted me to bring back every time I would come home from LA, to the point that I would be walking through TSA at LAX, and they would be pulling out 5 bags of powdered white substance from my carry-on luggage to give me this very suspicious look, and I was like, okay, we're not doing this again. So that was the last time we had cookies for Jenna. Fuck. Jen lived life in the fast lane. She fought hard, she laughed hard, and she loved even harder. She was one of a kind, and every single person here knows that. Life will never be the same without her. And I hope, Jen, wherever you are, I just hope you're happy and at peace and know how much I love you. And say hi to Dad for me. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name's Joan Astrid. I am Betty's sister. Thank you. And Jenna's aunt, or as Janet would say, auntie. I'm so saddened to be standing here today, but I realized as I was going to be standing here what an incredible privilege it is to call Jenna my niece. When I think of Jenna, There are so many wonderful words that describe her: vivacious, spirited, determined, focused, caring, and gentle. I've chosen just a few for me that really illuminate who Jenna was for me. Determined and with spirit, and I've heard that again before. She had fire in her heart, as you probably are aware of. She faced life head-on and full force. She had presence, and so when she was in the room, you knew it. Jenna had arrived, and what a wonderful personality to have. Determined, and many times she made decisions and was really clear in her head. What was to be was to be. And I have one story that has stayed with me for a very long time, and I'd like to share it with you. So we live on Vancouver Island, and we've lived on Vancouver Island for a long time. And so we don't get to see Betty and Kayla and Jenna often. But when we did, it was always such a really fun time. And we always looked forward to them coming over. And Mike was usually working, so he usually stayed home. And when they came, it was always, we just had such a joyous time. We just, everything was cut loose, right? We were accountable to nobody and accountable to ourselves, and it was absolutely wonderful. So one time, Betty was getting ready to come over, and I think it was in the summertime. And Kayla had a little suitcase, and Jenna had a little suitcase. And Betty supported the girls and sort of as they were growing up. And so I think, Kayla, you were just a little baby then. You were just a little toddler. And Jenna was like 3 years older. And so they each would have their own suitcase, and they would pack it. And off to the island they came. So let's just think for a moment. Okay, so what would you put in a suitcase to go traveling? So you might think you might maybe put in a pair of pants, or maybe a top, or maybe a bathing suit or two, or maybe if you were 3 years old or so, you might want to really put in, like take your stuffy with you, or your favorite teddy just to keep you comfortable when you're away from home. Did Jenna put any of those in? Nope, not a one. Jenna was so adamant, she chose, I think it was 4 of her fanciest, poofiest party dresses. True story. And in the suitcase they came. And she arrived at our house, and she was so proud of the party dresses that she brought. And they were all crinly, and they're like just the poofiest ones, and she loved that. And I think Betty tried really hard to kind of dissuade her from bringing the dresses, but Jenna's like, determined. And so they came with her. And we would go to the beach, and we would go swimming and play around, and Jenna would be wearing her party dress, right? And that was Jenna. Jenna had a real appreciation for appearance and for clothes. And I think it was later on in Jenna's life where she decided she wanted to follow fashion and sort of fashion design. So she enrolled in at school, and I think it was Vancouver, and she completed the program with fashion design. And I think she had visions of maybe carrying that on somewhere, but then her life took a little bit of a different path. But she always had that kind of, I think, in her heart. Jenna was truly beautiful. There was another side of Jenna that I found that was so enduring. Jenna had this very soft and caring side and interested to know about people with developmental disabilities, as there is one in our family. And she was always curious about, so tell me, like, how is it? Like, how are they? And how do they live life? And she was really authentic and really wanting to know. And I really appreciated that about her. Another occasion, I heard Betty and I heard Kayla talk about her sense of spirit and her sense of adventure. Well, I think this was maybe in the early 20s, and Kayla was working, I think, somewhere. And Betty and I decided on a whim, well, let's go to Seychelles. Come on, we haven't been to Seashell before or for a long time. And Jenna's cousin Jared was up in Whistler, so got a hold of Jared and said, come on, we're going to go over to Seashell. And so Jenna came with Betty, and on the ferry we were organized, but not that organized. And I think we brought a tent with us and a couple of other things, and off we went. And I remember going to Powell River. I think we're trying to get into the store to get a tarp, and I think it was a lantern and some of the more fundamental things of what you need when you're camping. I think we missed the closing actually. But you know what? We had a lot of fun. We had the campfire irregardless. We had s'mores over the campfire. And we just had so much fun. We were silly, and I loved it. It was like organized chaos. It was absolutely fantastic. Never forget that. And Jenna and Jared would go down to the beach, and they'd do a little swim, and then sort of bask in the sun as sort of people in their early adulthood would do. For me, Jenna was authentic. She lived life full on. She often lived in the moment, but she also had plans for the future. She was determined, she was spirited, and she was soft, and she was caring. She had a heart of gold. She had a zest for life, Jenna did. She had a beautiful soul and a beautiful spirit. When Jenna and I would talk on the phone, her last words to me were, "Love you, Auntie," and my words to her were, "Love you, Jen." So for me, Jenna leaves me with an appreciation of being authentic, being who you truly are, and live life and love hard.
Thank you. We are now going to have an open mic for those who would like to share. A couple of things before we do. I don't know how many people want to share. Obviously, time is limited. So I would ask you, if you would please, those of you who are going to share, to be brief and pointed in your particular remembrance, in case there are several that want to share. Would appreciate that. Because in some of these situations, sometimes when we know people so well, we could go on for half an hour talking about them. So if you could make your remarks brief and pointed of one of the remembrances that you have, we'll entertain anybody who would like to reflect on Jenna's life. Take a moment if some of you are thinking about it. Okay. As this young lady comes, can I just say this? Sometimes when folks share about this, because it's emotional, they may or may not cry or break down. Let's all have the grace just to understand that this is an emotional time, and we will appreciate and bear with them as they do.
Hi, my name's Megan, one of the many. There's a few of us. Where do I start with Jen? The beginning, it's always just been me and her. There will never be an end, I guess. I could stand and talk all day long about her. I could tell you stories that would make you pee your pants, but right now it's just difficult. I'll just share a few things with you about how much she meant to me. I think our lives were really great. They're great because we always had each other. She was always up for anything. She always made everything fun. Jenna was supportive, insanely smart, silly, funny, really funny, and so beautiful. She had a personality that was larger than life, and when she walked into a room, everybody knew it. Now the memories that she left behind will just have to live on. The laugh lines will never go away. There's not enough Botox for that. But she was so rad. She was the best auntie in the world. I have 2 kids, and she loved them very much, and they loved her very much, and we're just all gonna miss her. Rest easy, Jen.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Jill. I'm going to say a few words on behalf of Villa Training. We didn't get to know Jenna for as long as you all did, which is a real shame. She came to the barn last year like a whirlwind. You know, she came in, she wanted to know everything. She wanted to know everyone. She wanted to know how to do everything properly. And if she didn't get it the first time or didn't know it, the second time she definitely got it. She worked really hard, and she loved her horse, Larry, so much. She spent so much time just talking quietly with him, taking her time. He could be a little nervous, but not around her. He loved her so much. He'd be listening. When she'd pull up to the barn, you would hear Larry calling out for her. We just loved having her at the barn. She was always such a light and such a joy. And she was so fun, and we really are so sad that we didn't get to know her longer. But we're very blessed to have had the time that we did have with her, so thank you.
Anyone else? I don't want to cut you off in case you're thinking of doing it, but we'll wait 1 minute more. Does anyone else? So thank you for those who have shared. And perhaps you are not comfortable in coming up to a place like this to share, but maybe if you have some special memories, you can share them with Betty and Kayla following the service, and I'm sure that they would appreciate that. We're going to hear the 4th music selection, 1,000 Years by Christina Perry.
Colors and promises, how to be brave, how can I love when I'm afraid to fall, but watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. Step closer. I've died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. see is I will be brave. I will not let anything take away what's standing in front of me. Every breath, every hour has come to this. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. One step closer. One step closer. I've died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more.
I did not know Jenna, but when you hear people speak and the emails that were sent to me, you learn quite a bit about people. And so I just want to sum up things here for a few moments before we close. I read something earlier this week after talking with Betty that I thought was rather appropriate. I don't know where it came from, but this is what it said. A death has occurred and everything has changed by that event. We are painfully aware that life can never be the same again, for yesterday is over, that relationships once rich have ended. But there's another way to look upon this truth. If life went on the same without the presence of the one who passed away, we would only conclude that the life we remember made no contribution, filled no space, and meant nothing. The fact that Jenna has left behind a place that cannot be filled is a high tribute to who she was. Life can be the same after a trinket has been lost, but life can never be the same after the loss of a treasure. And for those of you here today, Jenna was that treasure. We come together to celebrate Jenna's life and the deposit she has left in your memories. And there are many things that have already been said and probably will be repeated many times beyond this service. But let's remember just a few of those things in summarizing together. Many people, by way of speaking through emails and giving particular remembrance of her. Give particular remembrance to her smile. It was a smile that would brighten up any room that she entered. And people who smile a lot cause others to smile, and Jenna was that kind of person. The poet Leland Tate wrote this: "A smile is beautiful with all its charm, something to give that does no harm. A smile is a frown only upside down. It has a good feeling. Just look around." Another trait of Jenna's most often spoken about was her laugh, along with the wheeze that went with it, and often the silliness that accompanied it. Sometimes considered by some as inappropriate, but considered by others to be absolutely hilarious. Her friend, who you heard from earlier, Megan Meeker, commented that on one particular occasion in grade 8, she remembered laughing so hard at an incident that happened in front of the school lockers that tears rolled down her cheeks. Other friends remember laughing so hard that their stomach ached. On another occasion, when she and Megan were in a car with another friend who pulled over and refused to continue driving till the two of them stopped laughing, because her laugh was infectious. Jenna had a bold personality. She was a force to be reckoned with and didn't suffer fools lightly. She would always make fun of herself or someone and was so funny at imitating people. But in all respects, she was one who was competitive and could be real feisty. That personality was a great help to some of her friends. One friend commented that Jenna helped them become the person they are today because they had been shy and a quiet individual before meeting her. But after associating with Jenna in friendship, it helped transform her and brought her out of her shell because Jenna's zest for life was contagious. She was athletic and driven and a ball of passionate energy. She was fun-loving also. One friend recalls that the two of them having a crush on the same boy, and during gym class they would run around the track and one of them would call his name and then pretend to collapse, getting his attention. Or on the occasion of snowboarding with Emma Johnson, not being able to do up their own boots, would always look for a couple of cute guys and ask them to tie up the boots. I have to tell you, in 74 years of living, I've never heard that one for attaching someone's attention. But playing Donkey Kong marathons on Nintendo, she just loved to be the life of the party. She loved to travel, from high school basketball trips to Disneyland to Whistler to trips across the United States, and of course, her landmark trip with 3 friends to Australia. A grand, big adventure, just the 4 of them against the world. A time that solidified the beauty of lifelong relationships with other trips that included the Bahamas and Mexico and Las Vegas. Her personality was also one of being smart, intelligent, and with a quick mind that was quick to learn, and so she excelled with her academics. The result was that her education on many fronts led to obtaining scholarships when she didn't even have to study a lot. I wish I'd been that way in my high school years. She graduated from Fraser Valley University with a bachelor's in business administration, and she graduated after putting in 4 years and made the dean's list in the process, a feat not everyone could achieve. But underneath that boldness of personality that some friends have termed a spitfire was also a sensitivity and a soft heart, particularly when it came to children and animals. She loved animals, and horses in particular. One friend commented that at the time of high school she was known to comment, "Who needs boys when you have horses?" From an early age, she fell in love with them, and often when she was driving in the car with her mom, she would call to her mom to stop, get out of the car, and see the horses as close as possible that were in the field that they were passing. She loved to brush them, feed them, stroke them, took riding lessons at Cheshire Stables in Maple Ridge. And as time went by, she entered many competitions and won many ribbons and prizes in the process. At the time of her passing, she had a horse named Larry, whom she deeply loved, and the love from the horse was reciprocated. There were special people in her life: Mother Betty, Sister Kayla, Auntie Joan, as you heard from, whom she loved dearly. But she also had a partner, Suki Dalwal, with whom she did life together. They were in love, with plans to marry, have a family. Suki had bought her a ring, and in the process of purchasing a property at the time of her passing. They enjoyed time together, loved together, along with the two beloved dogs, Winston and Lulu. Jenna had written a note to Suki where she expressed that she could believe in the power of love as a result of him loving her. She felt his deep love and adoration for her and was looking forward to becoming his wife. He loved her for who she was. As a result, she felt she could be her real self with him, and what he would always be there, and that he would always be there for her. As with Betty, Kayla, and others, Suki grieves the loss of one deeply loved. May we all understand that the journey of grief is long, and each person finds what helps them along the way to get them through the next hour, the next minute, the next day, or the next week. And may you all be kind and forgiving with each other, remembering to offer hugs, help, and I love yous every chance you get. May you find your own special way to honor Jenna's life while being grateful each day for the existence, enthusiasm, and example of zest for life that she had and that she expressed. And so we encourage you to leave today in peace and in love one for another in her memory. Life is fragile and can be taken away from us when we least expect it. Jenna left a mark on and with anyone that was fortunate enough to know her. Her beautiful smile will be forever imprinted on your hearts, on the hearts of those who knew her. And as one friend put it, she had the biggest heart ever and loved with her whole heart. I've been asked to close with a very brief prayer, and so I'd ask you to just to bow your heads for a moment. Dear God of broken hearts, be with the family, partner, friends of Jenna as they find ways to live in a world that no longer contains their loved one. Help them keep their memories close to their heart and gradually turn their tears into smiles of gratitude for having lived in a beautiful, wonderful, and adventurous world with Jenna. Watch over them, comfort them in the days to come. Stitch up their broken hearts with your love. We thank you for the gifts of family and friends, and for the gift of peace, and for the gift that Jenna was to everyone. In the name of God, amen. We're going to hear one more piece of music, but before we do, can I make a couple of announcements? When the music is through, we have some flowers here, and the funeral directors will remove the very large spray from off the top of the casket, and you are invited as you leave today to pick up one of the flowers, come by the casket, place it on the casket, and take a moment to reflect and pay your respects to Jenna, and then we'd ask you to leave by these double doors here. So we're going to hear the piece of music. It's called The Party's Over by Billy Aish, and when that is through, we would ask you to stand, and we'll let everyone except the family come first, so that at the end, the family may have some time around the casket together. So if you are not part of the family, we'll start over on this side. If you would come out this way and through, and then we'll come over here and do the same. So, I'm sorry. Oh, you want to do it while the music is on? Okay. There's your instruction. So why don't we just all stand together, and except for the family, And then we'll ask our funeral director, Trish, to play the music. And those of you who are not part of the family, if you will come, grab one of the flowers, and we'll just wait a moment. If we could have our funeral staff come and remove the display. So if you'll just hold on for one moment. And again, while you're standing, I want to thank you for coming on behalf of the family, and also to remind you that there will be a reception in Jenna's honor this coming Saturday at 4:30 at the Best Western Hotel on Lougheed Highway in Mission. Everybody is welcome to come to that. It will be a full dinner that will be provided, and the family would love to see you there if you could possibly make it. That's 4:30 this Saturday, Best Western Hotel in Mission. Well, just hold on for 1 minute. So once the music starts, we'll have you folks lead the way. Again, on behalf of the family, thank you so much for coming and being here to honor Jenna today. Yeah. Just start out, yeah, from that side.
Don't you know I'm no good for you? I've learned to lose, you can't afford to. Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call me friend, but keep me closer. And I'll call you when the party's over. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. And I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Yeah, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes. Once we've both said our goodbyes, let's just let it go. Let me let you go. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? Don't you know I'm no good for you? I've learned to lose, you can't afford to. Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call me friend, but keep me closer. And I'll call you when the party's over. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. And I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Yeah, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes. Once we've both said our goodbyes, let's just let it go. Let me let you go. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? Don't you know I'm no good for you? I've learned to lose, you can't afford to. Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call me friend, but keep me closer. And I'll call you when the party's over. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. And I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Yeah, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes. Once we've both said our goodbyes, let's just let it go. Let me let you go. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? Don't you know I'm no good for you? I've learned to lose, you can't afford to. Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call me friend, but keep me closer. And I'll call you when the party's over. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. And I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Yeah, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes. Once we've both said our goodbyes, Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? Don't you know I'm no good for you? I've learned to lose, you can't afford to. Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call me friend, but keep me closer. And I'll call you when the party's over. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. And I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Yeah, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes. Once we've both said our goodbyes, let's just let it go. Let me let you go. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I've learned to lose, you can't afford to. Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call me friend, but keep me closer. And I'll call you when the party's over. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. And I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Yeah, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes. Once we've both said our good.